There are a couple of things that are being discussed on Twitter by the Axie Infinity development team that could affect the SLP burning mechanic as well as the SLP price. So the first thing that we have is Philip La tweeting about whether there should be Season 21 on V2 or whether they should just move it to Origin. Allowing V2 to run as is without doing a full Season 21 will allow the focus to be making on Origin as good as possible, but that has some issues because then we are delaying well, we're not delaying, we are delaying one season, so there won't be anything happening. There will be updates on Origin, but there won't be an actual season to compete for, which a lot of people like competing in Axie Infinity, so that could be a negative take on the community. We want to make sure pro players are focused on giving us feedback on Origin so we can improve the competitive aspects. That is a good point, because if you launch Season 21, then a lot of the good players will be playing V2 rather than Origin and giving them feedback on what they can improve on when it comes to the competitive aspects. That is a very good point, actually. AXS rewards planned for Season 20 would roll into Origin's reward once we implement the AXS reward system into the first season. Again, just delaying that bit of a reward because I think it's still a month or two away before we can have a season of Origin without it being absolutely broken. So in that regard, that is not a good point from a player perspective to have a little bit of a delay there. Sounds pretty unanimous that everyone thinks we should have Axie Season 20 to focus on Origin. And the last tweet says, update, sounds pretty unanimous that everyone thinks we should axe Season 21 to focus on Origin, which is an interesting take. I think they have updated yet again. You can see it right here, seeing more feedback coming in from with some concerns around people who expected Season 21 to run. Just to be clear, SLP would still continue to be available in V2, would just not have the full season with AXS rewards, and that could decrease the mint of SLP because SLP being minted is usually a byproduct by people competing for the AXS rewards, so you would have less people playing V2, therefore earning less SLP, and the mint could be lowered that way, and people would focus on breeding for Origin, so potentially the burn could go up if we don't see a Season 21 for V2. Honestly, I would rather see a Season 21 with minimal changes so that can run in the background while they focus on Origin, but I understand the point that they want good players to be playing Origin so that they can gather the best feedback that they can and make the necessary improvements so that Season 1 of Origin is actually quite decent. Now the bad point is that a lot of people have already been expecting Season 21 because they actually said that Season 21 would run. I believe that was announced on Discord, maybe not officially like an article that Season 21 is here, we will host the rewards, but people said that it would happen, especially when Season 20 ended. And Psychout also said in Discord that he doesn't expect big changes for Season 21, suggesting that Season 21 would happen. We even have Elijah saying that if V2 will not be continued, then there's no point having Season 21. It's better to incentivize people to play Origin and make that game as good as possible. Maybe one more big tournament for V2, but that's it. Which says something, as he is a big fan of V2. Now moving on to the more SLP economy balance, Philip La has tweeted a bit of stuff on that as well. First of all, crafting NFT runes and charms will be significant additions to the SLP utility, and that is very true because SLP doesn't have much utility right now. If you're not breeding, then you're not using that token. You are only driving sell pressure because there's nothing else that you can do with SLP. As many of you know, runes and charms are essential in Origin, and to craft the advanced versions, players will need to use a combination of earned SLP and moonshards to craft them. Some runes and charms will be craftable solely with moonshard ingredients, and those NFT charms will be able to be traded through Marketplace, which is both a good and a bad thing because it's going to increase the SLP burn, but then again, we already know that mystic runes and charms are the best. So people that are getting into the game, if you don't have mystic runes and charms, you are probably going to be slacking behind, which doesn't even out the playing field. It doesn't make it fun from a competitive perspective that you need to have these runes and charms, otherwise your team simply doesn't work. And those being NFTs that can be traded in the marketplace, the first person that crafts it will probably cash in on it, and then whoever gets it after will be getting less and less of a reward. And maybe after time all of those runes and charms will be crafted so that they are at an affordable price, but at the start I think it's going to be a massive pay to win fiesta. Who can get the runes first, who can spend SLP and moon shards in the best possible way to craft these items, and frankly just get lucky with the crafting system. Now the runes and charms will be the most significant near-term utility for SLP. However, there are other features in the roadmap that will be fed, contributing to the balance of the economy, and we're going to look at that roadmap in just a second. One of them is Axie bodyboard accessories, so simply cosmetics, nothing that affects the game, but something that you can purchase for your Axies to look a little bit better. The NFT cosmetics the Axies can wear through releasing Axies, so you release Axie to get the cosmetics, which is an interesting mechanic that directly contributes to SLP usage, because you have to release the Axies, and then you have more demand for the Axies, more Axies have to be bred, and then more SLP is getting burned throughout the whole process. They also want to have in-app purchases to allow to purchase cosmetics using SLP as well, which would decrease the mint, so people that farm SLP would be able to spend on cosmetics before they are actually claiming those in their wallet. Another major feature, which you probably heard of, is Axie upgrading. This is where body parts can be upgraded, likely using a combination of unique resources from releasing Axie, playing the game, and SLP directly. Now, I'm not a big fan of this point as of now, because we've already seen the Axie Infinity team struggle with balancing cards in the past seasons. Season 19 was terrible when it comes to balancing. 20 was okay, and in Origin yet again we see a bunch of broken cards, bunch of broken mechanics. You add runes and charms on top of that, it is a fiesta and a very hard task to balance all of these moving parts together. So if they introduce Axie upgrading, which changes cards and changes some mechanics on top of that, I don't think this is a good idea for now. I don't think the team is ready to balance that many factors, but we'll see where that lays on the roadmap. These are just some of the features, so let's see what else we have in the roadmap. Now, before we move on with the roadmap, all of these are just ideas. None of them are subject to change, and none of them are suggesting any financial advice, so don't take it as it is. There should be bug fixes, polishing and balancing tweaks. We've already seen that once yesterday. They've already released a balancing update for Origin, so that is good. Mobile APK app, so that's for Android only, also in development. I mean, they've already announced the Apple mobile app for a while now, but we'll see how that is. Live viewing delay for esports, that definitely needs to happen, so it is all fair. Probably delayed by 1 or 2 rounds would be the first way to do it. Access leaderboards rewards in Origin, we need that. SLP, we need that. NFT runes and charms, we already know about all of these stuffs. Let's see. Okay, Axie part accessories in backlog, so it's not even in design yet. Onboarding around NFT Axies, teach new players around how to obtain and use NFTs, already also in design. In-app purchases, which he has mentioned already, in backlog, release into app stores, assuming we can meet all Google and Apple requirements. They said that this would be possible on launch. I believe Jiho said that in one of the interviews, if I recall correctly. So maybe we'll see it when Season 1 launches. It requires in-app purchases to be implemented to meet various requirements. I believe they need in-app purchases to be happening through debit and credit cards, so that Apple and Google can both take a percentage of it. I believe it's like 30 to 50% that they take per purchase, but once they introduce that, the mobile app can probably release with those cuts being taken by those companies. Axie upgrading also in backlog. Adventure mode chapter 2. I mean, the adventure mode right now is pretty cool to play through, but it is very easy. I was expecting something from adventure to be quite difficult, quite hard to play through, so that you actually have to spend time and resources getting those adventure modes, actually beating those adventure modes, and just have a bit of fun with that, and maybe get like a badge or a reward for passing those levels, which are hard to pass, but as it stands, it's not that hard. Maybe chapter 2 will change something. Missions, complete various unique achievements for rewards in game. We've seen daily quests in V2 of Axie Infinity. That didn't go so well. It just added to the mint problem of SLP. advanced crafting, improvements to crafting recipes. Currently there's a couple of crafting recipes. You can just increase the chance of you getting a mystic or an epic rune. We'll see where they go with that one. And the roguelike game mode, roguelike PvE game mode, where players will battle against a variety of chimeras and see who can make it the furthest. Okay, interesting idea. I mean, I think there's definitely space in Axie Infinity Origin for a couple of more game modes, especially with the amount of cards, runes and charms that they have already. Maybe doing just a couple, like Clash Royale has. I think they can do a couple of game modes that are still within the Origin space, but just very slightly when it comes to a couple of the mechanics, like the card draw or the energy system. And now for the final part of this video, I think it's worth answering the question whether SLP will go up. And this is not financial advice, but I have found this website that is actually amazing for analyzing, for technical analysis of utility tokens within play to earn games. It's called Random Org. What you have to do is just type in the numbers that you want to see. So 1 will be that SLP goes up, 2 will be that SLP goes down. They run very difficult algorithms in the background. I'm not going to go into all the details, but it's very accurate. So let's generate the outcome, and it is 1. So it looks like SLP will go up. Just remember that it's not financial advice and do your own research, but I think it's worth showing you this this amazing advanced process of analyzing utility tokens. And as always, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about the changes that are being proposed by Philip La as well as the Axie Infinity team regarding SLP burning mechanics and the ideas that they have coming forward. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel for daily play to earn content, and I will see you in the next one.